Good morning, Prudential sales executives, for our video message of the week. First of all, let me start off by saying I hope everybody had an awesome Thanksgiving. What a great holiday that is. I know you all overate. I did too. That's totally okay. All right. Today's message is, let me do a little recap, and then I want to specifically go over another area that I just want to dive a little deeper and make sure you're getting the benefit that you all deserve. So first of all, I've entitled today's message, We Are Prepared for Success in 2011. Let me go over a little bit about what we've accomplished. Of course, we're still working on this as we go, but really, this is what we've put in place and what you've accomplished in your business. Okay, one, we've created accountability groups in all the offices. If you haven't got involved, after I go over what I have to share today, you may, again, want to relook at that and get involved. What else have we done? We've created business plans. So we got really serious about business plans, simple, direct, clear business plans. We have practiced our scripts and increased our skill set via trainings. We've even dealt with Mike Ferry and brought you in, and there were some classes available for Mike Ferry on prospecting and script training, and also in your own branches, what you've done on separate training and practicing those scripts. What else have we done? We've cleaned up our spheres, looking back and making sure we have the right information, address, phone number, email addresses, going back to making sure that, you know what, my sphere, my number one asset is clean. We've grown our sphere. So we're getting behind this idea that, well, if it's my number one asset, then I got to continue growing it and nurturing it. So we're behind that in our sphere aspect. If you're behind personally on any of this, jump in. Okay, a lot of your agents right around you, your cohorts are jumping in, jump in too. Okay, we had a huge event at the Gold Coast. The main goal of this event was to create clarity and a deliberate understanding of what our plan of attack will be going forward. And we've done that. And lastly, but certainly not least, we have cultivated a continual culture of success in the branches. Very, very powerful, keeping us always going, consistently going in the right direction. So what do I want to focus in today? I want to focus on one area today. And I really want to dive in a little bit deeper so you have a clear understanding of the true benefits. And what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk a little bit more about the accountability groups and what these accountability groups truly do for you. Now, there's two aspects that I want to key in on, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the sub-items under that. The first is, in these accountability groups, is they help your fellow agents. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's get specific. Well, first of all right, it keeps your fellow agents on track. What an opportunity there. You can help keep a fellow agent that you work with every day, that you see all the time, you can help keep a fellow agent on track. Powerful. What else? Well, you can help that fellow agent, learn to fish for themselves. Again, you know the old saying, hand someone a fish, great, you feed them for a day. Teach someone to fish, you feed them for a lifetime. That's what we're trying to do here. So these accountability groups help someone learn over time to fish for themselves and drive their own business. Very, very powerful. What else are we doing? Well, what else are you doing for those fellow agents? You're building their confidence. The more they do, the more confident they get. The more confident they get, the more they do. And it's a beautiful circle, that you keep building. So it builds their confidence, which of course will help them do more business. It also undercovers their strengths and their weaknesses. And remember, as a company, we advise focus on your strengths. But you got to understand what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. So one, you could at least focus on those strengths, but you can backfill, or at least understand where those weaknesses are. And yeah, you can tweak them, but the key is do what you do best and keep doing it. And you know what? If you're doing what you do best on a consistent basis, and that's what these groups are for, you will have the dollars to backfill areas that, let's say, you're not so great with. All right, so that's one aspect. That's what you're helping. That's what you're doing for your other fellow agents. What is it doing for you? Well, there's some definite overlap here, but let me key on some of these areas. First, of course, if it's keeping them on track, it's keeping you on track, all right? And driving your business moving forward. The more you talk about, okay, the more you talk about production and success, even when you're talking about it with helping another fellow agent, it's helping you. The more you talk the talk, the more opportunity you have to walk the walk and get your business. You want to pump yourself up, tell somebody what they should be doing, and it's amazing how you now start understanding, well, of course, this is what I should be doing as well. Very important. So it's keeping you on track and keeping you doing what you're supposed to do. All right. It keeps your mindset in a productive place. When you're helping another fellow agent, when you have these accountability groups in general, it keeps you in a productive mindset. Very important. The more productive your mindset is, the more production you will do. When you sway away from that productive mindset, I promise you, you will do things that are less productive. You're human, okay? We all do it. So these groups, okay, that one opportunity helps you and says, you know what? Even though in some aspects I'm helping someone else, I'm also helping myself and I'm keeping my mindset in tune with production. If it's building their confidence, it's building your confidence, all right? And you know what? Even if you're really confident, there's probably some areas that even is some of your strengths, but you don't use them often enough, that you don't really get the benefit of what you're great at. Well, that's what this does. These accountability groups get you doing, and you learn what your strengths and your weaknesses are. You focus on those, you build your confidence, and of course, you directly do more business. See how this is working? You use these groups, and it continues to keep your business moving forward. Of course, by definition, it's keeping you more engaged. It's keeping you engaged in the process, in the understanding. It's keeping you engaged in real estate in general. Whatever you're specifically doing in those groups and what you're focusing in on, it keeps you engaged in those areas. And you're learning as you go, which is the next point. It expands your skill set. I guarantee you there are things that you've worked on within those groups that you thought that you knew about, you thought you fully understood, but guess what? As you got into it, you're like, oh my God, I didn't even know that aspect about it. I thought I knew prospecting, but I really didn't get it. I really didn't fully understand it. I do now. And it is a core strength of mine. I just haven't been using it in the exact way that I should be using it. Again, we've talked about it uncovers your strengths and weaknesses. And lastly, okay, please, lastly, but not least, okay, it drives, it breeds a success culture within your group and within your office. The more of these accountability groups that we have, the more culture around those groups. I go into the branches and I see what you guys are doing, and it's amazing, the feel. I can feel it. It's in the air. When you guys are practicing even skill sets or you're on the phone and you're talking the talk, you don't realize you're changing the entire culture in that office to a more productive culture. And I will tell you, it is impossible for anyone to be around that and not feel it and not ask themselves those powerful questions of, why am I not involved? How can this help me? And I know there's people in all the branches who are saying, that's not for me, I don't enjoy that, that's never worked for me, that are now involved in the accountability groups because it's bringing to the table more than they ever could imagine for their business. All right? These accountability groups, let's keep growing them, let's keep cultivating them. They're working, and let's be ready because we are prepared to have a kick butt 2011. Thanks, everybody, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.